Hey, cycle breakers and barrier breakers alike. Welcome to the Fuck That Bullshit podcast, where we advocate, educate, motivate, and create a safe space for you to embrace the mental wealth of marginalized and disenfranchised communities. We are serving no bullshit knowledge, tools, strategies, and insights. And yes, we will be entertaining. Our goal each episode is for you to leave feeling empowered, ready to take action and make meaningful choices that pave the way to your abundant mental wealth. So enjoy, like, subscribe, share, and discuss. Make sure you save it too, just in case you want to look back at it and get some more tips and things. The PTBS podcast is for education, empowerment, and inspiration. It is not a substitute for therapy or professional mental health care. If you're in need of additional support, please reach out to a licensed mental health provider. Warning: the Fuck That Bullshit podcast is intended for mature audiences only. This podcast contains raw, unfiltered conversations about mental health, social issues, and breaking generational cycles. We keep it real, unapologetic, and explicit because healing and empowerment require honesty. We're going to have strong language and adult themes, unfiltered discussions on race, identity, and mental wealth, challenging bullshit narratives without censorship. So if you're easily offended, this might not be for you, and it's definitely not for kids. But if you're ready for bold, barrier-breaking conversations that empower, educate, and entertain, tap in and let's fuck that bullshit together. Let's go. Hey, and welcome
What
to
it
the
is, what it is.
podcast. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that bullshit. Yeah. How y'all feeling?
Feeling fine, you know.
Feeling good. Feeling
It's
good.
been a groovy, 3 days off.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Because we had Juneteenth too the other
Mhm.
day. Yeah, that was
That's
good.
right.
Absolutely. But before we get started, we want to, me and Fred both in Texas, and as y'all probably heard, they got lots of flooding and things down here. It's just rain and more rain and more rain. So, and there's been lots of flooding and such. And we want to take a moment to acknowledge those people that's going through the stuff and who've lost lives and still looking for people. So we want to send our hearts out and give a moment for that. So let me add to that. As I was looking through those things today, I got triggered. I got triggered from Katrina.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I saw the footage, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I actually had to stop and cry, because there was one lady from New Orleans that was talking about it. And there's the battle and the fight on the internet about is this the time to talk about politics and blah 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 blah. And some people are like it's inappropriate to do, like it's all mixed together though, like
Right.
about the possible causes and all that. I do find that in our subject today, being Black folks in social media and such, I do find that I am annoyed by people who are, when people talk about the cause with the defunding and removing folks that actually meteorologize, right?
Right. The weatherman, yeah.
The weatherman and all that. How people are like, so now politics causes weather change? And I'm like, ignorant one. Let's
Right.
That's annoying.
Right.
That's annoying for people not to critically think and to think that you are actually saying, oh, well, Trump caused the weather problems or something.
Exactly.
No, we're talking about policies. We're talking about all the stuff.
He don't have that kind of juice. He definitely didn't cause the problem.
Right.
But he is responsible that the problem wasn't evaluated correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Ahead of
right,
time.
right. Because again, before these things were in place and before all the improvements of things, yeah, back in the day, this just would have happened like that. You wouldn't have known it was coming, and boom,
Right.
boom, people died. Right.
Yep.
But less people die when we know what's going to happen. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So even the lady that I found, I should have uploaded her stuff, but her video was long, so I try not to put long videos on here. But somebody mentioned her. Oh well, to try to debunk the whole the Trump thing too. Well, y'all, nobody told y'all that the levees might break. Nobody told y'all. Da, 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 da. She did another video. Was like, okay, let me correct you. Here's our mayor of the time saying,
Exactly.
don't get out. Please write your name and identifying information on your arm because you probably gonna die.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
And
it was
I
straight up.
remember Margaret Orr, the
Uh-huh.
channel, I think she's channel 4, channel 6. She was
Channel
she was
4,
doing the weather
yeah.
and just stopped in the middle of the forecast and was like, you know what? Just leave. Just went to a straight panic. Went to a straight panic. So
Right.
we
they
knew.
did tell us. And guess what?
They told us.
Most
And the
of us
levees breaking.
and the levees breaking,
Nobody
no
could have
joke.
foreseen that.
But she did mention that as that who the engineers folks that do that thing or whatever
Yeah.
did talk in theory about if so much pressure or water or whatever
Right.
got to the levees, right? Now we know we think otherwise, right? But that's
yeah, because I don't believe they broke.
We don't
They
believe
broke
that.
though.
They
I don't
broke
believe they just broke though.
just like the towers. So same concept. But the fact is they did bring that up because they talk about those kind of things when we have weather events, what would hold up, what wouldn't hold up, and they just talk about it in a theoretical sense, right? So she was like, people didn't believe it was gonna happen. It wasn't that they wasn't warned.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Indians are like, man, we're gonna have us a hurricane party because
Exactly.
every 2 months,
And I mean, and you look at the amount of hurricanes we done rode through. So
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
You got them
I'm glad she brought
so,
that up, and stuff. But it did trigger me when I started looking at actual footage and watching how fast waters rose and all that.
Right.
And, stuff being taken away and cars rolling over and all that. And I was like, oh my God, this stuff, like, this feels familiar. And we wasn't even in it, right? Because we left beforehand. And so it also brought to mind the idea that I didn't actually, in the midst, experience Katrina, right? Because I wasn't in the city, getting still traumatized by it.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be. You're gonna be. You know, and I mean, and the whole scenario played out the same way. Trump dancing. I got my bill. I got my bill. You know what I'm saying? And playing golf and shit. And where's the aid? You know, it took Bush a week to travel 1,000 plus a little over 1,000 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
I was feeling.
I mean, you didn't have to like per se be there to get, that was your city. You grew up there.
Right.
Right.
Which is why I bring it up, because people feel like you're not traumatized by that. You ain't go through that, right? And for me, it's the same concept too as being traumatized by slavery, even though I didn't physically, actually in my own body experience it. You still can imagine the people going through it, or you have a connection to that thing, right?
Yeah.
And all that. And there's actually a name for it. I was supposed to look it up before we got on here, but I can't remember what it is. I'll bring it back around. But there's a name for that. It's kind of a residual trauma thing. Or like we said, it's our city, right? Or this is our people. So I'm connected to this thing. So yes, it's traumatizing to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think I had somebody before kind of told me the same thing. Well, you wasn't there. So no, but my sister-in-law was there. When communication got cut off for everybody, I didn't know where my mama was. I didn't know where my daddy was. I didn't know where none of my family was at.
But I mean, I was there. So it was shitty. You know what I'm saying? It was shitty. It was a shitty ass experience. Like, because I remember when we came back and we went over there by Mimi house, went to go check on our house. And then we went to Mimi house. And I mean, we walked in, the water line was like that far from the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So it It was fucked up, man. I mean, fucking
Yeah.
state troopers at like we was in Memphis, so when when we evacuated to Memphis. But when we was coming back, like you had to go through a whole ID check and shit to
Yeah.
get back in the city and
In
shit
the
like that.
city.
It was some bullshit. You
It
know
was
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying?
Yeah.
It was a
So
whole
We
lot.
came back from Georgia. It was the same thing. You could come across the bridge. You can see the other side of the twin spans down. That side of the
mhm,
bridge was gone.
right. Or you,
And
you
then
know
we
them damn
got
things.
there.
They sit on planks. They sit on
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
concrete planks.
Thank you.
That shit is
Thank you.
not
And then
as stable as it looks.
Right.
and then when we got to our house, the water was up to the roof. You could
Right.
see the water line on
It was
top of
up
the
there.
roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We
So
couldn't even
it
open the door. I had to break the patio door to get in the house, and then everything that was in the house
Mm-hmm.
pushed all the way to the back.
right.
Wow.
So yeah, that
Mhm.
But
was like it was
But
crazy.
y'all know when Hurricane Betsy, and that was before all our
That was
time,
before
but
our time,
when
right?
Betsy
That was
came in,
Yeah,
they opened the floodgates in the night war, flooded the night
yeah,
war to save,
saved
Canal Street,
yeah.
yeah,
Uptown and
Uptown,
all
and all
that.
those
Yeah,
areas. So I
yeah.
thought it was just all odd that the night war got flooded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, you know what I mean? So it was
Mhm.
like the same
Yeah.
scenario to
That's
me.
the thing is like back then it was socially acceptable.
Right. Yeah, you could do
yeah,
that. Like you could do
Racism
that.
was an open racism. It was
Right.
openly acceptable for the group
Exactly.
to
All
continue
you had to
from.
do was just not admit it, whether people knew it or not. Now you
Yeah,
got to be more clever with your shit.
exactly. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So they
I
act like
mean,
they have.
I thought of I thought about that too when it happened, but then I
Mm,
was like, now you got to faulty engineering because parts of New Orleans got flooded that they probably didn't even expect to get flooded.
mm-hmm,
Right.
mm.
But
No, the
shit,
most.
our city just prone to flooding. Like I remember
Yeah,
one
I mean,
time
it's a more.
it rained for about 3 hours, just a
That's
nonstop heavy
that's
rain.
a wrap.
Right.
And
That's a
Yeah.
wrap.
I
Here's
had
the
my
water.
my little Camaro. My shit was underwater when I got
It's
home from
underwater.
work. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a hurricane. It was
No,
just
it
Yeah.
was
steady
just
rain.
That was
regular
just
extended rain.
Steady
That's
rain.
it. That's it.
everyday
And
rain.
does it move back to politics? Yes, because we had
Yes.
shitty people in office that was
Mm-hmm.
putting more money in their pocket than they was putting into the infrastructure of our sewage system. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
Yeah.
saying? They put 20,000 pumps on the French Quarter and Canal Street, and like one pump per neighborhood if your neighborhood was majority black.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, we got
But
fucked. You know
still
what I'm saying?
politics. Still rolls down to
It's
politics.
yeah, no matter what.
Even
And
the
I get
aftermath
where
of
people
Katrina. Even the
yeah,
aftermath of Katrina, because there's no way we shouldn't have got as much. Like we should have had aid, and like people was waiting. People was just dying.
yep,
Like it was
yep,
just hot Negroes dying, like
right.
on the street
Yeah.
everywhere, right? And no
Hmm.
aid, no water, no. You can't drop nothing. You can't bring nothing, nothing at all.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
watched it.
Exactly. They
And what a
brought
lot of
guns.
people don't, what a lot of people
They brought
don't
guns.
realize, when Katrina happened, that was not too long before they had that tsunami overseas, and the
Oh,
U.S. got
Oh
there
yeah.
in
Oh,
3 days.
yeah.
They got
I
there
did
in
it in 3
3
days.
days.
That was the big conversation. Like people was like, "Oh, they got there for the tsunami people." That's across the fucking world. You know
World
what
in
I'm saying?
3
That's across the
days.
fucking world.
Right.
Yep.
You know, so it is. It's always political, y'all, and it everything's racist. It is.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
we're gonna go into our actual topic. Appreciate y'all. We are talking today about black people in the internet. Fuck that. So we so connected bullshit. How social media is fracturing black communication, connection, and community. Any thoughts right off
It's
the top of the dome?
connected. Huh?
Any thoughts off the top of the dome?
Yeah. Social media is some bullshit.
Brian,
Yeah.
tell us
It,
why
got-
social media is bullshit.
What he said. What he
it,
said.
it has its pros. That's
Yeah.
a fact. Ergo, us, we are here.
Yes, we are here.
Yeah.
You're not
So
gonna
it has
completely
its,
shit on the internet,
right.
Right.
It has its pros. But like anything, anything you create for good, somebody's gonna come and corrupt it. So,
Right.
but the corruption is so out of control, though. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like every person you ever knew who was an idiot and just said dumbass shit as soon as social media came about, there was a platform for that motherfucker now. You know what I'm saying? They get up there and say, the earth is flat. Now I don't give a shit what you think. If you think the earth is flat, if you think the earth is round, that's a dumbass fucking conversation to have. You know, and it's an interesting conversation. It's a dumbass argument though. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah. It's like, man, the earth is flat. Yeah. Oh my God. What's my favorite joint? A real man or a real woman and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, you like one dude speaking for a whole lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? It's too much of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you think so of course, you know, I'm looking at videos and all that Fred was sending and some more that I was looking at. Do you think as a Black community, are we getting on here just to be seen and just to be heard or just to be validated? Or like we say, we have the good parts, but how is that part dissecting us and keeping us from, you know, because connection should be our thing, right? Because like we do this show because we want to educate, we want to connect, we want to communicate with the people, right? And all that. But everybody don't have that agenda. For lots of folks, it's making money. So for some folks, I just need to be seen. You know, what do you think? What y'all opinion is on it?
I think it's kind of both, but it's people tend to draw more to the drama and the bullshit than the educational part. And I say that because even before social media, if you were smart, you weren't cool. You wasn't popular.
That's true.
You're smart. You're a nerd. You know, like, and so now when you get the people, because you know, doing research for the show and everything, I get to see a lot of positive Black people, a lot of positive young Black people.
Yeah.
But just today, I got a random video of some guy rolling up, looked like a housing project. It was just a bunch of people everywhere. Then all of a sudden you hear pop, 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 pop. He runs maybe 20 feet. I didn't think he ran far enough for when people shooting. And then he turns around and put his phone back where the bullets came from.
Right.
That video had 12,000 likes.
Yeah.
Some of those videos that I sent you barely got 1,000.
Right. Yeah, because every time I got to good content on, like it wasn't many like, shares, follows, none of that. Like all the good subjects, good topics, interesting things, and all that you could truly have discussions about. There was nothing on them.
And because, like you said a minute ago, a lot of people get paid for posting content.
Right.
People, corporate America will pay you to post bullshit, show your people in a certain kind of light. So your 12,000 likes on this bullshit gonna override the 1,000 likes on this young lady telling you positive facts, something that'll help you along the way. So we tend to be drawn towards the bullshit.
Right. So it's it's the bag instead of chasing that bag instead of, you know, cultivating your community.
Exactly. It's almost like the same concept. It's almost like the same concept they did with hip hop. It's a shitload of positive hip hop rappers, but they don't get the backing or the funding, and they won't get paid like that because the agenda of the machine is to not have us, you know what I'm saying, look like that. Knowledge is truly power. So keep that damn knowledge from them and keep them booty shaking, cracking jokes, or just like how Fred was saying, those random acts of violence I see that shit a lot. I'm like, it was two girls fighting at a swimming pool, and I'm like, the fuck I'm supposed to get from this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I went in the comments was like, why are you showing me this? You know what I'm saying? And of course there's no comment, but yeah, I mean the system is set for that, you know, and of course everybody chasing that bag, so they're gonna do what brings the money in. I just appreciate the people that do the comedy as opposed to the bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's like if you're gonna just do something for the likes, don't minimize us in the process. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, redo a funny
and
scene
that's
from
the thing
cinema.
too. And all that, even if because I watch funny like comedians that rag on us all the time, and they are black. You know, so us being able to laugh at ourselves, like comic relief is helpful, right? And however, you know, if you're gonna use that platform to be funny and poke fun at us, and you're not a part of us, or
But no, I'm not talking about the people that poke fun at us. I'm just meaning the people that just do random funny shit. You know,
Okay,
like my man that do the voiceovers on the animals and shit like that.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking
Oh, my
about
God.
those funny videos. You know what I mean? And because they really get up there, because I think, you know, those are the ones that kind of keying into all the community, black community, white community. So everybody's jumping on that. But I think in the end, people scared of, they don't want to know. You know what I mean? I think people just really want to believe everything is all right, no matter how not all right it looks. You know, they'll either hope for better, but it's almost like they don't want to know. So they would rather look at somebody say, you know, oh, men ain't shit, women ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at those dramatic, us looking stupid ass bullshits, and then they convince they say, oh, that's how we are. That's us. That's who we are as black people. But it's not. That's one narrative, but that's a people thing, not a black thing, you know?
Right.
But you see, it's covered though, because you hardly ever, if ever at all, seen white women doing that same shit. And but I don't believe that there's no white podcast, I mean not podcast, but you know, no white streamer person who hasn't tried it. You see what I'm saying? That's impossible. That's impossible because every fucking thing we come up with, they take it. So I know there has to be some, but that shit stays covered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, like with the black women chasing after the rich guys, white women was doing that first.
Right.
So how did all of a sudden it became our thing? They were portrayed doing that in every movie. You never saw the black woman chasing after some rich man. Well, mainly because we were always broke.
Yeah.
So
the movies
there was no rich. Yeah, we was either broke, a criminal, or pimp. So it was and nobody chases after the rich pimp. So, but yeah, it was always them. But now if you go on social media, it's us. It's that's all our black women do.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. White women were depicted doing that in movies built for fantasy.
Right.
They got us depicting it on
doing
social media.
In real life.
In real life.
Believed to be real life.
In real life, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So hell yeah, it's more impactful, you know, in a real life scenario. Ain't nobody, you know, I mean, I did want to be Shaft back in the day after I saw Shaft, but you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of black people, they follow that shit they see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They believe it. They even they'll give you the speed. Like, I got to focus on myself. Man, stop watching all that fucking social media. It sounds crazy as shit. You know, who the fuck else you focused on? You know what I'm saying? And they'll just say it off the rant. I'm like, man, boy, it's been a long day. I can't wait till we get off. I got to focus on myself. I got to heal myself.
You're like, it's like the capture and they be like, nobody.
Exactly.
Like, good for you, you know? Yeah, I can agree. Do you, how are we miscommunicating and missing each other in this digital age?
Well, the miscommunication does come back to, you know, people chasing the bag. So nobody cares about the information that they're feeding you. They just telling you shit. And, it's not even for you. It's for them. It's for the likes. It's for the popularity. And definitely how we missing each other is people not reaching out to other venues. Like there's no balance. It's like you can have entertainment, but you also need education. So nobody's pushing for the balance. And I mean, because I like a good action movie and I like a good documentary too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I can agree.
Yeah, there's no balance because the backing is not the same, though. It's not supported the same way.
Right. And they set it up. They supposedly set it up, and the algorithm is supposed to work in a way that it brings to you what you interact with, or what the things with AI says you're interested in, right? Based upon your engagement or whatever the case may be. So you can, in essence, curate your algorithm to what you want it to be, right?
Right.
But if you interact, especially on TikTok, if you interact with everything that come across your page that does interest you, then you end up in this loop of what you think is going on based upon what you interacted with. What's really going on in the entire world, right? Because I have not had a Trump, none of it on there. My stuff got, African spirituality. My algorithm got, mental health, and that's what I see. So unless somebody come to me and be like, did you hear about the big beautiful bill? I wouldn't have got it from the internet, right? Because my algorithm ain't doing that. So that's another area where I see is good but bad, right? Because I literally, I had a bunch of that stuff. Every time his face popped up, I'm like, I know this, and I need to not interact with none of that. Okay, let me go search for some stuff and just interact with it so that I can get my algorithm back to what I want it to be, right? And all that. The problem, of course, with that is also I also didn't have nothing on there about the flooding. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in that, but that didn't show up on. I had to search it. I had to go look for it. Now I'm pretty sure when I get back on there, it's gonna start popping up because I've been interacting with that, right? And all that. So cool. You can program your own algorithm, but what are you locking yourself out of? Right.
That's the thing too, because look at how they controlling what you know about and what you don't know about.
Exactly.
So if you have no interest at all in knowing what's going on with the big beautiful bill, how it's gonna affect you down the line, all you looking at is I don't need no man videos. That's it. And it's
programming you.
Exactly. And it's buku programming you, because a lot of people who would be that interested in I don't need no man videos, I'm not talking about everybody who will look at them, I'm just talking about the ones that do, you only interested in that. You're only interested in that. So you're not reaching out on you in your own time saying, what the fuck is the big beautiful bill? You know what I'm saying? Even though you've heard it, you're gonna hear it, but that's not your draw. So you get completely locked out, shit get passed. You understand? And you get a letter in the mail saying you lost your SNAP benefits and you don't know the fuck why, but they've been telling you the whole fucking time. You know
but
what I'm saying?
Telling you don't need no man. So the guy that you was trying to holler at or was trying to holler at you ain't interested in him, and then you wouldn't need that SNAP card anyway because he wants to take care of you, girl.
Exactly. Now you out here with no man and no SNAP.
And no benefits.
That's bullshit.
Be careful of the internet. So I watch that because I realize everybody in my house, everybody's algorithm does their own thing, right? But we're also a household that communicates, so we're sharing what's coming. Did you hear about? Do you know about? Let me tell y'all something. Watch this video. Send that to me. And so there's a lot of communication between us about what's going on in each of our worlds, right? Because your algorithm is your world, and you get to curate it how you want to. But again, you don't want to lock yourself out of it. And we, like you said, we learn through repetition. If we listen to the same thing over and over and over and over again, I even told my dude that because he always, let me ask you a question about women. I can answer your question about this woman, right? Know about all the women, right? So I know that's because that's what his algorithm is doing.
I know all the women,
right? Let me tell you about all of us, right? And all that. But I mean, and I catch myself the same thing with him. Because if I get caught in that algorithm too, that's your man question. And in general, that's okay. Because as men and women, like I told y'all the other day, what's great about cutting the grass? And y'all was like, look at what I did. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just cut the
now
grass
only you
today,
know
man.
that, right?
I'm telling you,
Exactly.
you
But
guys, you need to cut some
asking a
grass
question.
now. You need to cut some
I
grass
have cut some grass before. I have.
and just
I had a great
put your
sense of
hand on
accountability.
your hip and just look at your grass after
Exactly.
it's over
Let
with.
your cape
That felt
blow in the
good.
wind. Black girl magic.
Good when I did cut the grass, but I don't want to
Yeah.
do it often. I just don't.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know
right,
what's the
right.
best part? After you cut the grass and you cut the sprinklers on, and you watch the
Yeah.
water go over your freshly cut grass.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I just sit in the garage and just be like, "Damn, I did a good job."
Yeah. It's definitely a man thing, but
It is.
yeah,
It is.
it
And
is.
that's the thing to it, because that's okay. That's okay for that to
Mhm.
be a man thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Along the lines of traditional gender roles, I love cooking for people. And my
Mhm.
favorite thing after that is when somebody go, ooh, this so good. Oh, mama, I
Uh-huh.
want to slap you.
Yeah.
Ooh, we gonna cook this again. When you cook this again, you know, like that,
Yeah,
that's
that's better than
my cake on the
thank
wet.
you.
All right,
Yeah.
it's better than a thank you. When somebody say they
Right.
want to slap me,
Yep.
slap your mama. What? If you do, I'm gonna slap
Yeah.
shit out of you back. But I'm gonna take it as a compliment, you know, and all that. So like those things are okay. It's not that I'm saying that any of that is not okay, and all that. But if that's all you're watching over and over
Right.
again, and so if you're watching, okay, women are gold diggers all the time, then that's your mentality. So every time you
Right.
talk to a woman, meet a woman, every time a woman bring up money, you think she's a gold digger. And it's like, no, I
Yep.
brought up money because I was gonna pay for your meal, bro. You know,
Right. Exactly.
and he's
Right.
Like,
like,
how
you
much is it?
mentioned
Oh,
money,
there you go gold digging.
right?
Nah,
Like,
nigga, I was gonna pay for the
I was
food,
gonna
but
pay
you know
for
what?
it,
I'm gonna pay for mine.
but I'm out. You
Now
know,
the
so
one thing I
yeah,
will say,
great stuff with.
doing research for the podcast, my algorithm is like all over the
All
place.
over the place now because we done done a lot of different
Yeah.
stuff.
Cause I
Mhm.
get I get random Trump stuff. I get
Right.
random, like I got the stuff about the flood. I get random stuff when we did the it was the show on the thing, and I sent that video with what's his face? Omar, whatever his
Okay,
name
yeah.
is.
Dr.
Brother
Yeah,
Umar Johnson.
Dr. Uma.
yeah. I get all kind of stuff. Like I had
Mhm.
to actually start looking up other stuff. Like
Stuff.
when we did the thing on politics a while
Mhm.
back,
Mhm.
I started getting all these Roland Martin videos. And then
Mhm.
Oh,
I realized that he's just a short, angry black man.
he really
Like,
is.
it
He really is. Like he's
Yeah.
the Stephen A.
like
Smith of politics.
Ah,
oh, yes. Like, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting too many of his videos. I
videos, yeah.
gotta, yeah, I
And
Mhm.
gotta just
you
start.
have to move around. You got to move around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotta move around. You know, because
Yeah.
even for me, like it becomes toxic positivity if the only thing coming to my thing is black girl, you beautiful. And I love them
Right.
videos. They make
Right.
me feel good
right,
first thing in the morning,
right.
right?
Mhm.
Reminder. But that can't be my all of my algorithm. It can't be
Right.
just that, right?
Right.
On occasion when I need that, cool, pump it into me all day. However, on I need other stuff. You know, I need business stuff. I need black girl
Right.
power stuff. I need black
Right.
people stuff. I need mental health stuff. You know, but I also need every now and then how to fix your sink. You know,
Right. Yeah.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
And yeah, once you get that algorithm in that loop, you kind of stop getting random things. You're just because I know when I was heavy following this big beautiful bill thing. That's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you. Nah. Shoot. But once I started looking up all this big beautiful bill thing, before it even got passed, literally that's all I had. What's going on in Congress? This person argued with this person. Big beautiful bill. All right, the breakdown of the big beautiful bill. And I was like, which was working for me because it was all the information I was looking for. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure something else happened out there.
Yeah.
This big beautiful bill. And at that time, they hadn't even started voting on it yet. So I'm like, man, look, I gotta change this up. And it took me a while. Like I'm just really learning about the quote unquote algorithm thing.
Right,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't pay attention to it that much. Just I go on there and be like, damn, boy, they got a lot of people arguing in Congress. It's what I'm thinking is shit going on that heavy in the White House, but nah, you got the algorithm. And because when I noticed some of them was like from 5 years ago and shit, I was like, wait, now y'all giving me the history of arguments in Congress, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, it's an
and I'm gonna say that too
thing.
when you looking up stuff, y'all pay attention to the date that things are posted.
Yeah,
because I promise you, I was all on the flooding and stuff like that, and I started running across stuff. I was like, wait a minute, this don't. Oh, that ain't even about this. Okay, never mind.
Right.
There's also some lady in a flood 2 years ago.
Yep.
Up to here, you know, in her house, in a wheelchair. And I'm like, oh no. And I was like, oh, that lady didn't rescue.
Like, man, they done rescued her. They live somewhere up north in a non-flood zone now, you know?
Right, in a non-flood zone, sitting on her porch in a rocking chair. So be careful of all of it. You know. So what about accountability? Because I saw a few where, and I'm gonna ask this too. Is there a difference between, I know there is a difference between, but what is the difference between, especially with regard to social media, holding the Black community or Black people or Black men or whatever it is accountable versus trashing or judging on them?
What, like the difference between that?
Yeah, because I see people that are like, you know, will say, oh, well, why y'all being down on Black people, blah, 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 blah. And other people might be like, well, I'm not trying to be down on, I'm just holding somebody, I'm holding you accountable to the things you do or what you say or how you are. Right.
Yeah.
And I know for me it's a matter of delivery and whether it's solution based or not.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Because if you out here like niggas ain't shit, you know, that's different than Black man. Get it together.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I help? You know.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't like the blame crew. I'm a 100% supporter of the accountability crew, though. Speaking of Roland Martin, he's a blame crew guy. You know what I mean? I've seen his little meetings, and he was like, "Yo, y'all need to find out about this. Y'all need to learn." It's like, yeah, nigga, that's why we got you. You do the research, and then you tell us, and then after you tell us, we know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've seen the blame crap things. Nah, I think that's 100% bullshit. Yeah, and right, because it's like you can't say, oh, you know, Black people, Black men, y'all, you know, young Black men, y'all here joining gangs and, you know, killing people. Get your shit together. Dun, 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 dun. And that's the end of the video. And it's like that ain't helping, you know. That ain't helping. But right, accountability, right, is solution based. So, and you don't see a lot of that because solution based is educational. Solution based, you're gonna learn something. Solution based may solve some problems, but the algorithm is the algorithm. But who's behind the algorithm? White folks. So the white folks behind the freaking algorithm don't want you to have no damn solutions. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They want you to keep scrounging and you know what I'm saying, wilding out. Right, exactly, because it's an excuse to keep Black people right where they at. Right where they at, you know.
Do y'all think there's a difference in us as Gen Xers, right? Because I feel like we're the bridge. We're the bridge between no technology and technology, right? Because we have experienced both in full effect. Do you feel like our generation is any different with regard to the internet and how we operate in it, especially as Black people?
Yeah,
no.
I think
I say no.
We definitely are.
All right.
I think we
are. We got some conflicting opinions. Let's go.
I think we are, because I think the majority of Gen Xers can do without the internet. Now, I do know some who can't live without it. They can't put their phone down for like 5 minutes without just randomly scrolling through Facebook, looking at the same bullshit that I was talking about earlier.
Right.
But I mean, for me, I'm going to use me as an example. I can go 2-3 days without even going on the internet. And the moment I start seeing too much BS, I'm done. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. Let me see if Brian posted some stupid video. I find his
You know, y'all know my videos
voiceover
are hilarious.
dog cat videos.
Yep.
I look at
Animals,
them
man.
and like for real, I look at
Mhm.
those videos, laugh my ass off,
Uh-huh.
and I'm done. I'm like,
Right.
that's it.
Mhm.
But I think we can or we can't. I think we can. A lot of us can
Right.
like do with it or without it. We don't. For me, I don't have to have it
Mhm.
Mhm.
because when I'm looking up stuff, really is research purposes. It's for something. I'm not
Yeah.
just like on
Right.
YouTube just to sit there and watch YouTube shorts all day.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm looking for something.
Something
Once I
specific.
find what I need,
Yeah.
I'm done because you go down the rabbit hole.
I was about to say, but the rabbit hole will get you.
Yeah.
You go down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole. It's 5 o'clock, and then the next thing you know, it's 11:30 at night. And you're
Right.
still
Facts.
doing this.
Yeah. I think the reason why I say not now, and people as our generation as a group, you know what I mean? Because I tend to see a lot of people, our age and older,
Mhm.
jumping on the same bandwagon as
Yeah.
those kids do. And I you
That's
know what
true.
I'm saying? And I'll see it and be like, damn, you too fucking old for that shit.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I think one of
Yeah.
the biggest the first time I really really noticed it was the whole taking a picture and looking down at the ground like you dropped something. I was like, what the fuck is that? To the point where if it was people I knew, I was like, dropped your keys or some shit. Like, why are you
Right.
looking
Right.
at the ground? In the pokey duck lip thing. That
Oh
shit
yeah.
looked so
Yeah.
goddamn stupid. Because some
Right.
people just would and I saw people, like coworkers. I'm like, damn, you
Yeah.
56. Why are you
Yeah.
doing that? Just
All
smile
right. Let
like
me
a
tell you
fucking regular person.
how real that is, and this is us. Okay.
Mhm.
I remember I got caught up in that for a bit
Mhm.
several years ago, and I took a picture
Right.
of a parfait. And when I posted it, you jumped on there first and said, "Nice picture of your parfait?" Like question mark. Like, I want to see a picture of your parfait.
Right.
It snapped
Right.
me right out of it.
Yep.
It snapped me right out because I was about to get into this taking a picture of my food thing, and I was like, I don't even know
Right.
why I'm doing this. Because
Right.
that don't
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sense.
And that was
I don't need to
weird
see what I'm
too.
watching, what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for
but
snapping
I
me out of that
think
immediately.
and I think it's just like our generation, no different than any other. You have those people that are older but want to stay relevant. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
important to them.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking them for doing it, but that ain't my bag. I'm not
Right.
gonna take no picture of a goddamn plate of food. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so
I'll take
but
picture of food and share it with y'all personally and be like,
right,
"Look
right, right.
at it. Look at it. Y'all want some of that, don't you?"
Right,
Mhm. That
exactly.
was
Right.
me.
In other words,
That's
it has a meaning when you
meaning.
do
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Like people do it like and I think even our generation, they fall victim to the same
Love
little
it.
trends and the same little bullshit. But like Fred was saying, like, could we do with or without it? Yeah, I believe that because I utilize not even social media. I use and I mean internet, social media itself,
Yeah.
mostly for information and for entertainment. But
Yeah.
I can't let it take up too much of my time because I got shit to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, I think the plus side we have is we could do with or without it. Because for our generation, if you had a problem with somebody back in 1992, you had to know that motherfucker personally. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you was gonna get into something with them, you had to just so happen to see their ass. Like you got
Exactly.
motherfuckers in New York arguing with a nigga in fucking LA to the point where you know what I'm saying, where it looked like it's gonna turn into a big ass thing, but it's like, man, nigga,
They're too
y'all
far
don't even
away.
live in the same state. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And it
Right.
gets, like I'm
Yeah.
saying, it gets that serious. To me, what
Yeah.
social media basically did was took fake life and made it seem like real life. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I said that I roll past. It's like it's the matter of like you get to again, like we talk about curating the algorithm, you get to curate
Mhm.
what your life looks like to the public.
Right.
Right.
not to cut you all off, but when I was in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
there was a guy who killed another man in front of the Bellagio over a social media beef.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw
You
that
saw
the
that?
little dude with the
Yeah.
clown faces too. big social media dudes, and they were both
Yeah.
out the same social media camp because I watched the whole little doc on them,
Mhm.
and they
Yeah.
got to beefing on social media, and it turned into. But the black guy didn't live in Vegas, and so when he got to Vegas, of course, he got on
Vegas.
social
Yeah.
media. I'm in your town. I'm in your town. Dude walked up on him outside middle of the street. Buku fucking people shot him and his old lady.
Wow.
Dude, there was so many. They shut that whole part of the strip down for like the entire night. It was crazy. I think his girl was live streaming it.
Yeah.
They said somebody went like this. That boy pop, 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 pop.
Yep.
Wow.
Over some
social
media
people.
bullshit.
Over social media.
Not real, y'all. It's not real. It's not real.
Exactly.
It was real that night.
Exactly. But it was some real consequences for some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's as real as you allow it to be.
Right. Yeah. It's like anything. I mean, R. Kelly, he believed he could fly. He believed that he could touch the sky. He thought about it every night and every day. You know what I'm saying? So if you believe that shit, then you know you'll live it or die with it. You know.
Yeah, that is very true. Very, very true.
So that's why I tell my kids all the time, don't be arguing all that BS with people online, because this if this ain't never make my point, that made my point right there.
Yeah,
people take that shit serious, because he did not have to come out there. He came out there with a gun, so he was ready for that.
He was ready for ready for smoke.
He was ready for it, and didn't mind going to jail. When I shoot you in front of the Bellagio, and there's thousands of people who be sitting up there in front of the Bellagio, he already made his decision that he was okay going to jail.
Right.
He turned himself in. They didn't.
He didn't try to run it,
but he knew he was gonna get caught. So fuck it. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And psychologically, that just make me question so much. Like, why?
Right. That's literally as dumb as you can be. That is the maximum of stupidity. You know what I mean? But
over something that happened over the internet, nothing that's like
nothing tangible.
Like, he ain't fuck your mama. Like,
no,
like just he didn't even say nothing about your mom. Like, or maybe he did. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe that's across the line.
You know, I've had real life face-to-face arguments that should have ended up with me and the other person shooting each other like we at the OK Corral. And we squashed that shit.
Yeah.
Because we both knew the consequences
of it.
If I take it to this next level, somebody gonna be dead, or we both gonna be dead.
Exactly.
Or we both going to jail.
Right.
And my whole thing is nobody I'm gonna have an argument with is worth those consequences. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the whole thing. It's like I have to be okay with what's gonna happen next. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can't do prison food, and I'm not giving up no booty. So it don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you look at it, that trend of things, it was always coming. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back in time. Remember, cats was killing each other over NBA live games. Cats would get into it over video games, sitting in the same room together. So that whole artificial social media type of thing has always been in play. Is just excelling now. You know what I mean? Because you really have social media gangs like that with that shooting out there by the Bellagio. They were two gangs, but they weren't in the streets. They was on the internet. Yeah, they was on the internet. They took internet gangster and made it an actual freaking thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is even
just making the thing real. That's not right.
Right. All he had to do was keep his ass at home. That's it.
Shit.
Any of them.
How about
just go out there and have a good time and not worry about going? Because you're going to Vegas. Go out there and have a good time, please. Like, you don't go out there to be hurting nobody and carrying on. Now you're sitting in jail.
It goes back to what I said earlier. People gravitate towards the bullshit.
Right.
Do you know how many people was on that live that night? They said it was so many people on that live. It was ridiculous. Even after he got shot, they still stayed on the live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel that. I know that, and it's happened a couple of times where I run across a video where I wanted to say some shit, right? It's pissing me off and I want to, right? Yo, stupid, right? And I've written out stuff and I reach a point, or I get to a character limit and I back it all the way up and I'm like, I am not.
Yeah, I've done it a lot.
Or my
I do
energy
that so
to
much.
entertain this madness. Second, the way the algorithm works, it don't matter if it's a negative or positive comment, it's still gonna count as engagement. So my choice is do not engage. Do not, if you don't like it, keep swiping, do not engage.
That's it.
Because if you say something that still helps that get further. Because I was trying to on this particular video, that I'll talk about probably another show, but in this particular video, and it was podcasters that you sent me, Fred, because I went on their page and looked at all of these stuff or whatever, right? And I hated it. I hated it because it didn't portray us in a good light. And it made me systemically pissed, because
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? So, and so I wanted to say something, but I did not want to give them any credit for one, nor did I want to boost their likes or algorithm in any way. So I was like, I'm not going to put this on there. I'm just going to make my own separate video about it. And I ain't even going to say who it is because I don't want y'all going over there. Right. Because I ain't trying to put that bullshit and all that. So, so it's still a choice that you make, even engaging in the negative stuff. Right, because people also want to get stuff off their chest, and people want to say something, and all that. And I think bringing it back around to Black people, we will jump. Like you said, jump on a bandwagon. We'll jump on somebody's train to feel relevant, or I want to say something so much or so loud. I'm just gonna hop on this thing right here. I don't necessarily believe completely, but you won't even distinguish whether you believe all of it, part of it, or this part you okay with.
Right.
You want to be involved in the fight, so you jump in. Yeah. So that's that. I want to be seen.
Right. And people don't, I mean, in a lot of times people are jumping them comments without even hearing the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Just they can't wait to argue some shit down, you know what I mean? But because Ryan Davis, one of my favorite comedians, Ryan Davis did a video and he was like, he said, it's a shame. And it was like right after Puffy got out, which again, algorithm thing, because I was never interested in that. People like, you heard about Puffy? I'm like, I have no idea what's going on with that shit. But he was saying, he said it's a shame that you go through all of those changes and fight for your freedom. And he was popping up these pictures of Puffy getting out. He said, and the person who did you wrong gets out and then gets to celebrate and enjoy themselves. He just kept popping up these pictures of Puffy and Cassie and stuff like that. And then as he came to his close, it was slavery and it was racism, and then it was the 4th of July.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and he was, and his first comment was, he said, I'm going to easily recognize the people who didn't watch the video the whole way through. And sure enough, buku people like, Puffy, they should have locked Puffy ass up. Puffy ain't shit. And then you had the people that was pro Puffy. It's like, well, he went. It was a jury of his peers, and he was never even talking about that shit.
Talking about Puffy. No, I saw that video because I followed him.
It was tight. It was tight how he did that.
Tight. That's super tight. Very, very.
Because when you look at it, it looked like a Puffy video. But if you watch it all the way through, you'll see where he ended, and he's like, oh yeah.
And it was tight how he made his point. He was like, yeah, people out here celebrating the 4th of July. But why are you celebrating the 4th of July? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Because I also realized, again, with my curated algorithm, in my head, and I think that's why I'm starting to get more and more systemically pissed and just pissed in general, because I keep running into the ignorance, or like when I went to that church, like I told y'all about. And I run into these things in real life that, like kids say IRL, in real life. And then I get angry because these things still exist, because in my algorithm on my phone, in my social media, I am listening to the positive stuff. I'm listening to us gather together and be united. And because that's how I've curated what I want to see and all that. But the real stuff is, the stuff is really happening in the world. People still ignorant, people still cut up, people still enslaved in their mind. And, so it's like, it's not, so my opinion based upon what I see on my phone would be, oh no, we're getting it together.
Right. Yeah.
And then I step somewhere else and we're not getting it together. What's
exactly
wrong
right. So from your viewpoint and your perspective, it's like it's thousands of us out there that's on this pro-black thing. It's like we are overcoming. What are you saying? Wait a minute. Where they taking us? They taking us back to the cotton fields. Wait, my algorithm didn't show me this.
Exactly.
Shit.
But you know why? And Chanel, you should know this as a psychiatrist.
I'm not a psychiatrist. Don't put that
therapist.
He said that once before.
You studied the human mind.
Okay.
We do not think intellectually or intelligently. We act on emotion first, and then we try to rationalize it after the fact. So that's why when you like, well, why they did that? Because they didn't act on the information that was given. They act on the emotion. Oh my God. Oh, she said niggas ain't shit. And that's when you get the dumb comment in the section with the long thing, and then somebody replying to that one, and then the reply is like 20 miles long.
Yeah, which is crazy because who would read
that's
all
why
that?
They gave us character restrictions.
And then
anybody send me something, if it's longer than a sentence, I'm not reading all that.
But after they sit down and their emotions go, and then they look and they
once
be
that
like,
adrenaline cool off,
damn, that was some stupid shit that I said. Too late now, homie. You already typed it. You gotta deal with all these replies.
But I've seen people in comments come back into the comments and like, "Chris, I said some dumb stuff earlier." Or like you said, getting to the end of a thing and be like, okay, so I was about to write something, but I went ahead and listened to the rest of it. Because I got caught up in that too. I'm like, I'm about to say something. Then I was like, because I forgot the thing playing in the background while I'm trying to type. Then I'm like,
right.
I think they saying,
Thinking rationally is something you got to learn.
Yeah.
Because when you like, we all do it. I know I do it. I see something, I'd be like, fuck this shit.
Right.
And I'm just typing my ass off. And then I get to the end and I'll be like, this is some stupid shit. You know what? I am not engaging in this bullshit.
Exactly.
And I just delete the whole thing. Because you got to sit back and look. People don't think. They just
react.
Right. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I like to harass like racist people. I like they'll say something racist.
Like how you do it too. It's so cool.
Yeah, and they be like, because all you blacks, I'd be like, us blacks. You know what I'm saying? or they'll be like, black people, they never gonna make it. And I was like, damn, that was the best you can come up with. I know you can come up with something better than that. So I just like I turned it into entertainment because I think I only like lashed out one time. And then the barrage of comebacks was frustrating for me because I can't, be their ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't do nothing. It's like having an argument on the phone, and then you realize that every last one of your replies empowers those people. And what I notice too often, because like I say, I don't go with the back and forth shit because I'm not arguing with nobody on no internet that damn long. But you'll see black people commenting, but when they pick somebody and say, oh, we're just gonna keep barraging this one guy,
Right.
You see less and less black people in them comments. They're
That's
like,
right.
oh, damn, man, it be stepping up, man. It get
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
you know what
But
I'm saying?
it's frustrating. It's very
Yeah,
frustrating.
it
Even
is. It is.
on
Because
the
for real,
feed
there's
that I
nothing you
was
can do.
looking at that pissed me off, and it was the comment section that pissed me off.
Yep,
Right.
every time.
And so, but then I started clicking on people's face. I was like, all these is white folks, all of them, all of them, all of them, all of them. So I don't expect them, even if they understand the systemic thing this woman's talking about, I don't expect them to admit it, acknowledge it, give her props. I don't expect them to do nothing. So then I chose not to comment at all. Right. And I said, maybe I'll do my own video, and stuff like that. But like, I'm not going to entertain this over here because I already believe them. I believe who they are. Right. And I'm not arguing back and forth if you are choosing ignorance. You're choosing to, like they said, to argue with people who choose to misunderstand, who's intentionally misunderstanding you, you know. And so making that choice not to go back and forth saves you energy, and you figured out how to alchemize it and change it into something funny for you. And like, let me poke. Right? You're not gonna get me, but I'm gonna get you. Let me flip this energy over.
Exactly. Yep.
Ain't nothing wrong with being petty.
You're cracking up.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Petty as shit. I do like, because he's black. And I was like, hey man, thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate you. And all he could reply back was, you're welcome, man. And I gave him a heart emoji. You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't know what to do with that. They have no idea. Their intent is to piss people off. So you don't do it.
Right.
If you ever want to see that, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I've told people, I'm like, some of those that start that lead post, some of those are bots.
Yeah.
Some of those are not even actual people. It's just something to get you riled up and then keep the flow going. Because Facebook itself has to have people interacting in order to have value.
That's right. Yep. Intentional.
Yeah, but the whole back and forth, if you ever want to see how it works with as I like to call them, internet bullies versus real life, have somebody at your job or your manager or supervisor send you a fucked up email. And then go walk over to them and be like, is everything okay? Do we have a problem? Nothing that they said in that email, they're going to tell you to your face.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Because it takes a very special person to be like, everything I said in this email,
I'm going to tell you. Right.
And most of the time, those people will never send you an email. They'll just come straight to you.
Well, I ain't never got no email. And people, don't play with me.
No, I've got the confusing, stupid email that is between the lines. Oh,
right.
We got a problem? Is everything okay? We got a problem?
We got a problem?
No. It's just
what? Because here in this email it says,
you just being gangster over the internet. All right, I get it.
Yep. And they go home and they tell their wife, I sent him an email. Let me show you what I sent him. Well, what he said, he ain't said nothing. That jive sucker.
You talking about go over there and say we have a problem. You just go and be like, you want to say something? Say it to my face.
Exactly.
Say it to my face. So we're going to move to, first we're going to have a commercial because we haven't had a commercial in a few weeks. So, hey, cycle breakers. I'm Chanel Baptiste, your favorite no bullshit therapist and mental wealth coach and founder of Choosing Empowerment. As barrier breakers, our core values are founded in the power of choice and the power of healthy relationships. We are dedicated to our mission to provide access to mental health services for marginalized and disenfranchised communities. Our primary communities that we serve are Black, people of color, foster and adoptive, LGBTQIA, and formerly incarcerated communities. We fully understand the internal and external barriers facing our communities that prevent them from seeking care. We realize that one of our greatest assets and tools is connection. Therefore, we connect to our communities by letting them know that we see them, we hear them, we understand them, because we are them. We seek to educate and inform so that our communities are aware that it's okay not to be okay. But here at the Cycle Breaker Village, it's a safe place for healing, so you don't have to stay that way. If you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to us at nobs@choosingempowerment.com. We break barriers so you can break cycles. Yeah, we do. Amen.
That was a good camera you got, man, when you did that commercial. You almost look like an AI person.
Yeah, yeah.
It's getting harder to know.
It's connection. I like that part. Connection. I was like, ooh, look at the hand gestures and shit.
We are. Okay, so let's move to relationships, because that and social media and Black folks is a big thing. And I found plenty of clips for that one. I'm gonna do. Y'all want to do honesty versus transparency, or y'all want to do truth? Wait, what was it? It's honesty versus transparency, or privacy versus secrets?
Both.
Who want to do first?
The honesty.
Honesty.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't like honesty. I like transparency. Let me explain the difference. Honesty is I ask you, hey, babe, who were you at dinner with?
Yeah.
And you tell me the truth. That means you're being honest.
Yeah.
Transparency is, hey, baby, I got dinner at 7 with James, Nathan, and his assistant, Sarah's going to be there.
And that's,
And that's transparency. So now, guess what? You were forthcoming.
Yep.
You told me what it was.
Yep.
And so now I trust it.
And that was
still be
Miss
shady
Mocha.
though. Yeah.
Okay.
That was Miss Mocha 91 at TikTok. You want to see that? I got one more with that, and then we're going to discuss.
An honest person would tell you the truth if you ask them.
Right.
A transparent person will show you the truth if you just look. If you look, I will show you.
Yeah.
But a vulnerable person will offer you the truth and you never have to reach for it.
That's good.
And so you want to be able to be honest. But see, if we're in a marriage and I'm just honest with you, that's not enough.
No.
Because you have to know what to ask me.
Right. And so if I don't feel like I'm getting the answers because I never asked, I don't feel safe.
Then I'm technically not wrong here.
Right.
But like, if you look and you see something is wrong with my limp or my eyes right now, like my eyes. So my eye is low so you can see. And if you're looking, then I'll tell you, like, this is going on with my eye, right? You're looking, you can see, so I'm showing you.
Yeah.
But vulnerability says you don't see what's going on in the internal. And I just want to tell you something that you don't know. And you wouldn't even know to ask, even on a good day.
Right.
So to be vulnerable is to offer. And that is risky.
It's so risky because you don't know what's going to come of that.
Absolutely.
As the person who's being vulnerable, you don't know what comes of it. Is that person going to shame you, ridicule you? Is it going to come back in another conversation?
That second one was good.
I know.
Yeah.
She's inspired by
good.
creativity, is that one. At the TikTok, if y'all want to go follow that. Thoughts?
Well, both of those were awesome examples. That second one was really good,
right?
The second one was really
That's
good.
the one that when we start talking about this, that's the one that I saw. I was so glad I found it.
Right. I saw the first one before, but I never saw that second one.
That second one was fire.
Right. And
breaking down the vulnerability piece, like that's real.
And that's what it should be in a especially in relationships and as far as social media and stuff like that with relationships. It seemed like it just created this cheat zone almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It created a cheat zone, like without ever having to leave. Because remember, like in pre all this, if you was cheating, how you got caught? Well, your ass was gone all the time.
Right.
You had to go and do that. Now you can have a whole entire 10-year relationship via the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it really is. So like my whole thing with that is, again, it's like somebody created something, social media, and then here come the people corrupting the creation. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that honesty and especially that vulnerability, because like I'm wide open, you know what I'm saying, with my wife. Like there's nothing that I have she can't, she don't have access to. And that's well, one, I ain't got nothing to hide. Two, because of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of this shit. That's why every single solitary, platform that I'm on, it's me there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't search my name and then it's because that doesn't make sense. Like to me, that's transparency. Like that's that openness. And if you scroll through my pictures, you're gonna see me and her. You're gonna see her. You're gonna see the kids. You're gonna see more of her than you see of me. On you know what I'm saying, on my shit, because like you'll have those people, they'll get and this, we was talking about the other day. You'll say, I'm gonna put my my essence into a public place, social media, for thousands upon millions of people to see, but I'm not gonna post a picture of myself. Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Like what you doing? And I understand doom scrolling, and people that's just there to see what the other people are doing. But it does give off, and not that person is giving off shade. Right. The environment says that that's shady because that's what the environment created. You know what I'm saying? So you make it yourself open to people from that don't know, oh, that's a friend from high school. You don't know that motherfucker. You ain't seen him since high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're about to be in a retirement home. I know you know what I'm saying? So it created that, which created lack of trust, especially in Black families. Well, Black families are the focus. You know what I'm saying? Black couples are the focus. So it creates that, and then you have all this tension. It's just like another new freaking problem. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I also looked at like you said, the extra, right? It's you have more ways to do the things.
Right.
The differences and we talked the other day about generationally how, Gen X for the most part, you like the picture? Cool, you like this, just that is just a like.
Right. Right.
That's it, right?
Yep.
But for the younger folks, and I find that, and I don't know little white children, so I don't know. I know Black kids. And so for them, it's like you like somebody's picture. Like, are you cheating?
Yeah, and I've seen that.
Now we have to redefine what cheating is and what, okay, he liked the picture because she was cute, but did he try to holler at her? Like,
exactly.
So
it's a whole new definition of everything. You know what I'm saying?
So redoing the whole, what does it mean to cheat? Right? Because for us, that's not like, okay, you talking to her, cool. Wait, you talking privately? You talking what you're talking about?
Right.
Then you start getting that, like crossing lines and stuff like that, right? And again, it's with somebody you don't know, and whether they're, like you said, whether you know them in real life from back in the day, or whether you just met them on the internet, like, are they involved in your everyday? Right.
Right.
I don't really use social media for the most part for business.
Right. Is we opening ourselves up to like all of this open access, you know what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't, like back in our day, if you went to a public place, ergo the club, you wouldn't go to a club with a mask on. You know, I'm gonna go in this public place, but I don't want nobody to see me. Then why are you in the public place? You know what I'm saying? Why are you in the public place?
That makes sense. But for a lot of folks, like just like with the relationship stuff, same thing with the bullies, right? It's user number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all that. And I'm gonna say a lot of shit because I don't want any backlash. So if I want to get out there and parlay in the internet, then Mac Daddy 4, 5, 6.
Right.
But I ain't no picture up there. They go my emoji that I created.
Yeah. Or that landscape background. It's an ocean, baby.
They go, here's my Bitmoji on the ocean.
Right.
Look, I made you one too.
So I can dig it.
And then what is it like for, like, like dads will tell their kids or their daughters, this how you look for how you point out if a nigga trying to fuck over you or whatever, like that
Right.
dude trying to mac on you. So
Right.
do we know it's Gen X? You know, how do I tell my daughter
right?
she can nap on when that's
right.
not what we used to do? Like what?
Exactly. Like I don't know how that shit works because I've seen Jaden have little disputes like, oh, I like this girl picture. I was like, oh, and then what? No, nothing else.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get it. I'm confused, son. Give me more information. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Are you actually interested? You want to talk to her? Where she live at?
Right.
Like, no,
right.
Just
hit like.
Yeah, they just because they do 95% of everything online. This is why there'll be okay. You and me, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for 18 months. All my social media shit got passwords. You don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
All your stuff got passwords. I don't know them. I don't know them. We get violent if I say, what's the password to your Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
What you need my password for? Or you be like, what's the password to your Instagram? Fuck you need my password for?
Right.
You think I'm cheating on you?
Mm-hmm.
To me, as a Gen
There's a
Xer,
reason why I'm asking for this goddamn password. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's not even so much a cheat thing, though.
You talk about you love me, you won't marry me.
Mm-hmm.
Give me access to your shit. This is why, just like Brian, all my stuff is wide open.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody can get on my phone, go to Facebook. All you got to do is hit the app. And
right.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Yeah. As soon as you tap that app, that's it. You got it all. You know what I'm saying?
Up. And the first thing you see in that little circle is me and my wife.
Yep.
Right.
Because I don't want you to think I'm single, because I'm not.
That makes sense.
That's my wife. You see her on Facebook, Instagram, the Twitter I never use. You see her right there too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to think I'm single. I don't want you to send me no stupid message and then I have to explain why I got this message from some random person from 20 years ago.
Right.
You know, like Brian said, like we going to the nursing home together. I ain't seen this person in 25 years. But I watched my son go through that.
Yeah.
Watch my friend go through that. And then he called me like, I don't know why she mad. Damn, nigga. Maybe because you've been with this girl for like going on 3 years. All your shit locked down. You look like you cheating.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and it's odd though how people and it doesn't even matter the generation, how people don't want to let go of that privacy / secrecy. You know what I'm saying? So and it's like, you know, they'll look at it like, oh, this is my personal life, you know. But what kind of, I mean, you live in a whole second life outside of that couple's life. You know what I mean? Oh, well, you could just look on my page and you can see what I'm doing. No, I can't. I can only see what you're allowing me to see. And it's not even so much a thing about, you know, going through somebody's stuff or policing them. But the thing is if it's not a thing, why make it a thing? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like why make it a thing? Like if you're in a relationship, you sleep in the same bed, we'll share a fork, do all kind of freaky shit on the weekends together. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do all of that with that man or with that woman, but they can't have your damn password to your whatever page.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like that logic doesn't equal up. You know what I mean? That logic.
I got a clip for that one, Brian. I got a clip for that one.
Oh damn!
Because I'm gonna tell you what I told somebody on my job. You want the benefits of being in a relationship, but you want options. You want to have options.
Yeah, that's how it sounds too. Yep.
Just in case. Just in case you don't work out. Hey, I've been talking to these three.
Right. Yeah, that one chick was digging me. You can
All right,
step,
listen to this.
woman.
Listen,
All right.
listen to this.
When couples share everything, not just orgasms, but passcodes, it's a deeper level of intimacy. If y'all can share that level of intimacy, and you mean to tell me your partner can't just pick up your phone and scroll through it? I struggle with that because it's a way that your partner can kind of get to know you. It's one thing to be private. It's another thing to be secret. I think a lot of time what happens is there's a lot of secrecy going on phones. We're not talking about privacy. We're talking about secrecy. That's the problem. That hinders intimacy. Like, I imagine if you and your partner are out, y'all vacationing somewhere, and her phone dies and you faint, and she can't even call 911 because she don't got the password to your phone. So you're gonna sit out there and die.
Yep.
She can't even open up your phone to call 911.
Yep,
Exactly.
exactly. And you know, it's funny because it's like I was like, I asked my wife recently. I was like, I said, hey, you know the password to my phone? And she was like, I don't know the password to your phone. I was like, well, this it. You know what I'm saying? This is it. And she was like, well, why would I need that? I said, what if something happened to me? You know what I'm saying? What if something happened to me and you need to, you need to use my phone for whatever reason? There shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to only be able to call 911.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What if something happened to me and you need to reach out to the family member and Fred is out of town?
Right.
Because I believe Fred booted. I think she got mama number, but you know what I'm saying? But it's like, well, and two, why the hell not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why the hell not? My phone is here. What if you need to use the phone and my phone closer than your phone? You know what I mean? So it's for me, it's that. You know, I'm not saying it got to be that for all of y'all out there in the world, but you know, for me, it's that. It's and it makes it's not there's no negative. There's no negative.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas y'all know damn well some of y'all out there on YouTube and Spotify and TikTok or whatever else we streaming on land is trying to figure out a way to go through your lady or your man's phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing. Or you on some app trying to, you know what I'm saying? That's why these apps exist. Yeah. Because people use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. It's an extra way of communicating and you could be on any of them. Like you could have some, some internet holes, some Snapchat holes and some Facebook holes and some Instagram holes. Like you can have them in each area. Like they could be different ones in each one. Like it just gave a plethora. And I'm not leaving women out because women do the same shit.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
It ain't just men and all that. But like you said, Fred, it's options. It's like I'm trying to see what else is, and for a lot of people, and again, psychologically speaking, because we look for external validation, we look for somebody else to tell us we look good, or looking for some way to boost our ego and get that dopamine and all that. Or you start seeking things in other areas, which is why people cheat to begin with, for the most part. You're looking for what you don't get in your marriage, rather than figuring out how to fix that in your marriage. Well, he don't pay enough attention to me some more. This other dude paid lots of attention to me though.
Right. But he ain't got none of the responsibilities.
He ain't got none of the responsibilities.
You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother. That's a good ass time.
Because nowadays he don't even have to see you. Like Brian said, y'all can have a whole 10-year relationship.
Right. Just on the phone. And say a bunch of shit they don't fucking mean. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like I stopped a dude. He was talking about this little chick, and then he's married. And he was talking about this chick he met. He was like, yeah, man, man, she cool. I said, man, you just trying to get some booty. I said, that woman got 2 kids. Like you just told me the woman got 2 kids and she got a whole house she trying to take care of. You trying to take care of them kids and take care of that house? I ain't trying to do all that. Then you didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just trying to get some booty. You're not trying to build a whole damn life with this woman. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's too out there, because as a man, I only speak as a man. As a man, you're not cool if you walk in a damn Walmart and some man eyeballing, your wife. You know what I'm saying? So of course, most men not gonna be cool because you got a new tight dress and that man see it on your Facebook, and then when he get home, like, look at this dress I bought. Yeah, I saw it already, like all them other niggas. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Exactly.
That
Right.
intimacy, that it's about y'all thing is gone.
That's good,
You know
Brian.
what I'm
That's
saying?
good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's real good because I think people
Yeah.
don't think on that level. They don't think about the
Right.
fact that like those are intimate moments. Those are like,
Right.
oh, look at how I look in this, or because even when as a woman and you putting on clothes and all that, you are not just putting on clothes for yourself. You're putting on
Right.
clothes so other people can look at you.
Exactly.
And if your main interest is for your husband or your man to look at you, then you dress in a way that you're like, look at me, baby.
Right.
But that's
Yeah.
not for the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
if you put it out there for everybody to see, a man gonna be like, what the fuck?
Right.
Everybody gotta see it. I thought that was
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, good. You look good, girl, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, we done let
don't
so
come
many
show
people
me
leave.
after the fact. Yeah.
So would it matter if
seen
she
it
did
on
it first?
Facebook 15 minutes ago.
Well,
Would it
what it
matter
matters
if
is,
she came to you first and been like, oh, baby, look at this outfit, look at this
yeah,
stuff.
it would
Then
make some difference.
simple.
I think it would make some
Yeah.
difference. Yeah. It would make some difference because
Right.
but at the same time, you have to be somebody that accepts that that mentality, that social media mentality. You have to be okay with that. Like for me personally, it'd be like, oh yeah, look at this dress, and I'm gonna take a picture and put it on Facebook. Me, I would say like, why are you doing that? But
Right.
because I don't conform to the social media thing, you know what I'm saying? So if you was the type of person that conformed to that, then yeah, it would make it would be better for you and thing.
Right.
But what I was
they
about to
got
say,
fellas out here that put their outfit on and like check me out.
Right. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure somewhere in some household it's the same scenario. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to share their significant other with a bunch of damn strangers. You know what I'm saying? You got some couples don't even want to share their significant other with their family members. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, constantly throwing yourself out there. That's why I love the fact the way, because my wife don't do all that shit on social media. You know what I mean? She ain't she put a picture up every 6 years or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was gonna call myself like change this picture.
right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be careful with that. And it goes just beyond just the relationship piece. It goes into job piece. You know what I mean? Because that time you got mad and was like, you know what? Fuck white America. And then you go apply at this place and they do that fucking check on your social media. Like, damn, back in 2008. You know what I'm saying?
Mad with white
he didn't like America. Now he wants to work for American Auto Services. No, I don't think so. So you know what I'm saying? It's because we throw ourselves flat out there, and people don't realize it's like you're putting yourself out there for the world. We used to be private and secretive and everything else. Now,
right?
Hey y'all, I got a dog. Hold up.
That dog make an appearance every week where he is part of the show.
For real. He part of the show.
Yeah, for real. I'm about to put his ass on camera.
We're gonna do
just put him on camera. We can do a whole podcast just about lifted.
I could. It'd be all complaints.
Right? This dude that gave it to us in like 19 seconds.
Okay, this is going to be really quick. There's always a conversation about privacy versus secrecy.
I think so.
Privacy equals protection, meaning no one knows our business.
I like that.
Secrecy equals hiding, meaning no one even knows I exist.
I don't like that.
I like that.
I like that. So that was pretty simply stated.
Yeah, that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Now, this one I found, it was tonight's that was OBO Jones, y'all, by the way. This one came from tonight's conversation. I love that little show. And it gave good stuff. We're gonna talk after this. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Social media is amplifying the divide between Black men and Black women. Pages like Justin LA Boy, pages like Spiritual World, who take the most toxic messages from Twitter and all other platforms, put them in one space that are purposely perpetuating narratives that we really aren't interacting with in the real world. You go on a date, you're not having these conversations, but you go on social media and these conversations are constantly repeated, and none of it is solution focused. It's all what they do, what's not being done, and it's not productive. It's not pushing us forward, and what's happening is we are internalizing a lot of trauma that does not belong to us. So
say it again.
So we are internalizing a lot of relationship trauma that does not belong to us. So let's say for me personally, right, I've never been cheated on, but let's say I go and I follow a bunch of women who talk about the fact that, oh, I've been cheated on, all these niggas cheat, they steady cheating. I'm going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, niggas, they all cheat. That's all they do. And I'm not self-aware enough to really understand that that's not even my shit. That's not my baggage. That's somebody else's baggage. So one thing we really have to do is learn how to detach from some of these messages that we are constantly internalizing. And sometimes we don't even realize, like, until you really sit back and you like, why do I think this way? And you really start to point out, it's because, like, when you think about TV advertising and how they plant messages, social media is doing the same thing. So we have to detach ourselves from some of that content to be like, look, I need to follow more pages that are uplifting black women and black men. I need to follow more people who are speaking about black love and black marriage. Like, that's what I need to be internalizing, not this toxic shit, not this dysfunctional shit, because we're wondering why it's constant. It's because, and this is the individual role. This is the shit that we make go viral. This is the shit that we comment on, we engage with, and it's not that we're agreeing. Disagreeing and commenting, it drives this engagement up. You know what I mean? And that's why they perpetuate these messages. So if we want to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, we have to stop engaging with this shit.
Yeah, that goes back to what we were saying earlier.
Yep.
Do not engage. Yeah, but I say there's the divide, like we said, though. Like, I can curate, like she said, looking at the pages that are more empowering rather than doing the other stuff. But again, the algorithm will be just on that, and then you'll forget that the other stuff exists. And
exactly,
that's the dual. Everything has duality. You know what I'm saying? There's good and there's not so good on the other end. And I think we need both. We need the balance. We need the balance.
And yeah, you gotta have it
about one thing or the other.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So do y'all we definitely agree that, you know, how we are portrayed on the internet, especially with regard to men and women and relationships, the social media is a problem.
It is. It's a 100% problem. It's too out there. It's too everywhere, and it really does have too much say so. You know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's getting to the point to where it's people run their lives on the stuff that they ingest from social media. Like, perfect example, like what they was talking about tonight's conversation. They're a good group. I listen to them all the time.
I know.
But I hear so many people now that talk about, oh, I'm never getting married. Like, why? Why wouldn't you want to get married? And they never have like a real reason, but the reasons that they give are internet reasons. Oh, because if they not making X amount of this, they gotta be hold on, I'm trying to think. Somebody told me, and they ran down this list, and I was like, oh, that's shit you got off the internet. Like, every person I had ever heard on the internet just said the same thing. Oh, they have to be a provider. Is he working? Well, yeah. Guess what?
He can provide.
He can provide. You know, but I need my man to make. And I mean, this is real. It's like a real woman told me that, like, oh, he got to be making at least $150,000 a year. I'm like, how much do you make? Like, what, 40?
Right.
But you want your man to make almost 3 times more than you make.
Right. Again, and that's an internet standard. That's
why I told her after she ran all that down.
Has anybody seen this dude that everybody looking for?
Exactly, right. Because I mean, I've had a young
Oh,
lady.
he out
say
there.
that-
He married.
yeah, she said,
And he got an old lady.
she was like, yeah, you know, a man gotta, you know, that's when that what you bring it to the table.
Yeah.
shit was out.
Oh,
And she was saying
Yeah.
all that. I was like, I said, man, I said, let me tell you a secret. She was like, what? I said, stay the fuck off the internet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you sound stupid. You 56 years old, you live with your mom. You see what I'm saying? Like I say, I know your business. So you don't even have a table. You know,
Yeah.
that ain't even your table over there. You know,
Right?
It's
Yeah.
like
Get
I
a
said,
table first, then ask somebody what
yeah,
they can bring.
exactly. The nigga gotta bring when he bring it to the table. He got to bring a damn table. You know what I'm saying? So is that kind of stuff? And she said it with such aggression and with such vigor. It's like you
Yeah.
really
Like she
believe
believed that shit.
this
She really
bullshit, and you know it doesn't even apply to your life. You know what I'm saying? Like not at all. But yeah, it's
That's, I
again
think
the
the
fantasy
slow is
world.
when we say we lose brain cells because you're letting people tell you what you think
Yep.
rather than thinking.
That's exactly what.
Having critical thinking. Like you should be able to look at something on the internet and have an actual conversation about it and tell me what you really think. Because you don't have to believe everything that crosses your screen.
Yep.
You know, there are some posts that I get completely conflicted about. I was like, yeah, I get it. At the same time, no, you know, because again, everything has duality.
Right.
Everything has duality.
Yeah, because when I look at that and like when she ran down her internet criteria, I was like, okay, so when you find this person, he's gonna have to like you.
That part
in
right
order
there.
for you to get all the stuff
Right.
that you want.
Right.
How you gonna do that?
Now you go, yeah,
Yep.
what do we want?
Crickets. All I got was crickets.
That's right.
And I told
Because
like,
we don't
don't
self-reflect.
tell, yeah,
Yeah, they're not thinking past the statement,
don't tell me
past the
you
buzzwords.
did. Yeah, because I know a lot of cute women. I know a lot of beautiful women. That's a dime a dozen. There's a bunch of y'all out here. It's like it's cute babies. It's cute women out here.
Absolutely.
Like, what are you gonna do to get this man with all his criteria if you happen to find him and
If
he's
you
single?
Yeah.
Why should he choose you? You only making like 40K a year.
And you
Exactly.
don't want to do nothing.
Right. Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah,
Clearly.
like I
And then
told
your
her,
mama
like,
go, and you're 53.
like I told her, like, you're not an asset. You're a liability.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, another section of that with regard to relationships and in general. So rather than people talking directly to each other if they got beef. So if I got beef with you, Fred, I'm calling you. Fred, I got beef with you. Right? And you're gonna be like, bring the beef then, right?
Yeah, don't
all
do
that.
no internet shit because then I'm gonna call you.
Right. But then people will go on the internet, right, and be like, not even tell the person's name, but do that what they call subtweeting, right? I'm gonna talk about a thing, right? You know who it applies to. I ain't gonna say your name because some people be, right? And all that. Do you think is that a young people thing? Is that just a cowardly thing? Is that, you know, we don't want, we be feeling, you know, sporty behind the computer screen and don't want to say what you got to say? Or we using it as a diary? What?
I think it started as a young people thing. And I think all people jumped on the bandwagon because, like I said, again, like those type of things, they trends. They come in and everybody's doing it, then it phases out. So I think everybody jumped on it, you know, because it was a trend to do that. If you had a problem with somebody and they could live across the goddamn street, you still gonna go on the whatever, the snap face, the chat gram or whatever, and do your shit there. You know what I'm saying? And it's 100% it's a coward thing. You know what I mean? And it's an attention seeking thing because if I got beef with somebody, why do I want everybody else to know? You know what I'm saying? Like why am I telling everybody about this shit?
Well, some of it is ego, and I want everybody to be on my side.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Well, people can chime in because I'm gonna tell my side of the story in the way I wanted to want to present it because I'm not telling the whole story. I'm just gonna tell the part where I was done wrong, right, and all that, and then everybody be like, "Girl, that don't make no sense, girl.
Yep. And they
Be
sure do
terrorists.
too.
Like,
They be right up
you
on
know,
you.
and
Yep.
so you're trying to get pumped up, you know.
Yep.
And for me, that's the same way you go. You know, you might go to a relative and you try to get confirmation for yourself, and like you're trying to find out if you're the asshole, but you can't
Right.
find out if you're the asshole without telling the whole story.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Right.
so you're now you're beyond am I the asshole. You're like, please be on my bandwagon because I need to know that I'm right in this situation. You know. And you know, I believe in just going straight to the person personally, you know what I'm saying? Because the world don't have nothing to do with
It saves time.
That's a generational thing. I mean, we had no choice but to go to the
Yeah.
If I had a problem with Brian, I could. You know what? This whole jump on the internet thing and talk shit, and then remember when your mama used to piss you off, and you go in the room and talk shit about her,
about her back,
This is the internet. Is that I can
actual
talk
place
shit
to put
about
it,
you,
right? Yeah.
But I can talk to you, and then all I got to do is click a button, and there's no recourse.
Right.
Nothing's going to
And
happen.
you said my name.
Yeah.
You got to prove I'm talking about you because I ain't say no names.
Right. Or I'm in Texas, you in Virginia. I mean, never see you.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I can talk shit to you all day long on the internet. I'm an internet tough guy. You know, you say something like Brian said, you say something, I say something, you reply, I reply back. We can just keep this going on for as long as you feel like typing.
Right.
And when I don't see you, I can say, just like people say, you can say whatever you want over the phone.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can just hang up on you. But when me and you face to face,
that's real talk right
now. It's a different story.
Right.
That's when you get the Now say all that you was just saying a minute ago on Facebook. You know, now it's like, hey man, look, I didn't mean that.
Right.
Nah, bro. Like, you sound like you meant it when you was typing them characters in that goddamn chat box.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 100.
Poster or her picture was up there, but you wasn't trying to be shady. You just being yourself. You just being regular, but
No, she wouldn't.
And just
she
from
wouldn't
you know,
care because just you don't need a passcode to get into none of my stuff.
Right.
So you can go into my messenger and see what's going on. You can go into anything. We got the same passcodes on our phone. Only because we can't put our fingerprints on each other's phone because they won't let you do that. So we've always done that. So what if my phone's right here and her phone in the room on the charger? You need to use the phone, goddamn, put the code in and use the freaking phone. I have nothing to hide. Because I ain't doing shit.
And also, though, I think it's a level of maturity, you know, with the person that you with. You know what I'm saying? Because if you with an adult woman, you know, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective, you with an adult woman, she really not into all that shit. She's not even really looking. She's not even really looking at your shit like that in the first place, because the relationship is built in real life. Not social media life. You know what I'm saying? So if in real life everything is cool, then everything is cool. You know what I mean? Because like I don't know how many pictures of me Melissa have on her stuff, and don't you really give a damn? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about because I know what's happening in our real life. You know what I mean? So,
right. That makes sense. Because I was thinking about that, like I think generationally and age wise and maturity wise too, because they're all women who are like, but no, that wasn't where I was going. I was going here. So some of the men that I saw speaking on it, and in the affirmative of why don't you have her on your stuff, right? And the balance of it was if you're a person that's on social media and you're posting your shoes and you're posting your outfit and you're posting that hat and you're posting your car and you're posting, so you're showing the community or whatever, these are the things that are valuable to me, but you don't have your wife on there, right? And so that was a different perspective for me, right? Because again, I don't live on the internet, right? You know, it's marketing for me. And so I was like, okay, so that's a unique perspective because I didn't think of it in that way. If you are a dude that do post a lot and that's your jam and you all over the internet doing internet stuff, but you're not showing this other person, this person that you value, you care about, this is important, but I'm gonna post everything else, then that's suspicious.
Right.
You know, because I was like, what if somebody, I don't really use the internet, so I don't expect to, you know, I remember, you know, my ex asked one time, like, you ain't never post me on this, close to divorce time. You never post me on the internet. I was like, we don't do that. You know, and then, you know, a memory came up, it was by Mimi House, that I took in the backyard with him, and I think it was one of our anniversaries or something, and I posted that and stuff, and it came across, you know, the memories, and then he called and apologized, and I was like, because I usually don't do that, so it was that one time or something, but I did post you.
You was there, baby. You was there.
I'm just thinking, why is that a criteria for us? Because we don't live on the internet.
Exactly.
I don't live on the internet, so it's not
and
that
that's
important.
the thing. Like, you see, like how the problem? It's all up in the way of so many like natural, normal, day-to-day things. You know what I mean? It's like you have enough, regular, real life shit to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And then here come this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just most shit. And you can't, you put your fucking credit card in some shit and it's like, oh shit, my credit card got hacked. It's every freaking thing with it. You know what I mean? To me, it's like it's more of a problem than it is a solution to anything,
Right. I can feel that too. I can feel it. Because I don't like, again, we came up with some solutions, but are they really solutions?
Scale off that bullshit. You know what I mean? Scale off that bullshit and keep your comments and everything. Like, if you're gonna say something, really say what you want to say. Don't say it for the likes. Don't say it for the heart emojis, unless it's something hilarious and funny. Because if it's funny, I'm gonna support you. But say what you really mean to say, because that's something you can actually stand behind. That's something you can actually explain if you're questioned about it. Don't just get out there and say men ain't shit. Why? Because the other lady said it. You know what I'm saying? Well, my man is great, but the rest of the men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So say something you can stand behind. In other words, try to treat that like real life, as opposed to continuously living in the fantasy world and then pretending like that's actual shit. It's not.
Right. And what if we could be honest and bring real life to the internet? Because I think that was the intention.
That might have been a dream, right?
But I think the dream was let's share our reality with the world, right? And you know, because it's supposed to be building community, but at the same time,
I remember that. I remember there was supposed to be that.
But people feel more isolated, and I'm gonna hold in on Black folks because that's what we talk about and all that. Where we're supposed to be more of a community, but now there's more hating on each other, and there's putting each other down and finding, and there's more of a divide: Black women, Black men, old people, young people. Like, so there's more and more divide between us. Are you left wing, right wing? Or whatever it is.
Are you a no hat or red hat?
You black back to blue, back to pink, blue ribbon, pink ribbon, pro-choice. And like, there's just too much divide between us rather than it galvanizing us and giving us a space to migrate together and all that. Now I do see that the one place I did see it was when the Gingers Are Black thing was going on, right? Because the Gingers were like, we found each other, right? They didn't even have each other on each other pages until this thing happened, and then it was like, there are lots of us. We are a minority still, but There are lots of
Right.
us,
Right.
I love you, right? And so it brought them together as a community. So and Black folks told them that this is what you do with this. Galvanize your community, right?
Right.
And all that. Stand for something, stick to stuff, don't let people fuck over y'all, be a unit and all that. And we still looking for Black people to be able to be a unit.
True.
Right.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. I ain't gave up on my people though. That's why we doing this
Right.
every week. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think also rather than connection, we fell into the white man's version of things, which is competition. Right.
True.
Right.
True.
That's what it
Very
is.
true.
Yeah.
Because when we made the most progress as a people is when we unified and we was working toward the same goal and we were sharing the things together. If when Black folks couldn't get into college, Black folks taught other Black folks trades, right?
Exactly.
Made sure the people behind us knew the things or whatever, or reminded me going back to centers, Your boy taught that little girl how to negotiate. He didn't just say, okay, I'm gonna pay you this thing and that's it. No, let me show you how to make some money. Right. And all that. One of my favorite parts of that movie, because that's how we have been historically as Black people. We're gonna make sure the people, the youngins behind us have everything they possibly need to get ahead, right? In a world where we know is built, to keep us behind and all that. But the internet, instead of it being a space and place where we can share more of that stuff, not that it hasn't happened, because I've seen that also with human time was another beautiful thing. And people just got on, real professors start getting on there and holding class. People that knew stuff, gardening 101, want to know about gardening? I'm about to teach you, right? Because if they want to tear up the stuff, if they want to get rid of the financial aid, if they want to get rid of all the ways that we've used to get our education, cool, we're going to just go back to teaching each other.
Exactly.
Right? Yep. So that's one of those positive things. That's one way that we can use the internet to galvanize. But at the same time, while that human talk thing was going forth, some Black person decided they wanted to capitalize off of it and try to. I ain't gonna say they, because it's still happening, but they tried to ruin it for everybody, right? And all that because now, it's competition mindset. I need to capitalize off of my own people. I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna start patenting stuff and trademarking shit and charging people for shit and all that kind of stuff. When it could have just been, it was a free community. Like the instructors wasn't asking for nothing. They're like, I'm teaching my people something for free. Because the system trying to hold us down again. All right.
Yep.
And all that. So that's the solution to the thing. But we gotta weed out the people. I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Easy. Stop supporting them. If we could boycott Target and Walmart and Walgreens, I don't know if we. If not, don't boycott Walgreens.
Gotta investigate y'all.
Okay. But But if we can band together that heavy for those things, we can band together that heavy, for that bullshit. And it's like I get it. It's entertaining, but where's the core value of the shit?
Right. Because it's not entertaining if they come and drag your ass back to a cotton field.
Exactly.
Right.
That won't be entertaining at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And all. So being aware, which is one of our things, staying aware, right? What else did I have on here? I was also going to mention that overall, I see, and it's just me, it could be my algorithm tricking me, but I see in real life that stuff is getting so fake, I guess, because like you say, sometimes you can't tell the AI from the person and all that. And I think choices are going to have to be made with how much you want to engage online versus in real life, because I think people going to start craving real life.
Yeah.
I see more kids, and even in this neighborhood right here, in the past few years I've been in this neighborhood, I've seen more kids outside this summer than I have ever.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Like, life move in circles. You know what I mean? Life move in circles. Like this was a big deal because it was new. And eventually it's gonna play out.
Right.
It's gonna play out because people gonna go their asses right back outside. Gonna be back to touch football and all everything.
Yeah, because we're craving the the interaction between real people now, because I don't
Exactly.
even know if this is real or if it's AI.
Right.
Right. And so that don't feel the same to me. And when I don't know the difference, then I start craving what we're social people, we're connectors, right?
Right.
And we thrive by connecting with each other. And the only way to do that is to do that.
Yep.
You know,
you gotta connect with people. We weren't born to just watch YouTube videos and all that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I watch my grandchildren look at people doing stuff that they should be outside doing.
That part. Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. When it becomes entertaining to watch somebody sleep, we got a problem.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that. That's weird.
You watching the kid play with toys, and they like, yeah. Why don't you go play with toys?
Right.
And then I'll just turn the TV off and be like, go play with some toys. Go outside, get dirty, scratch your knee up. You know, do.
When the last time we saw a scrape
knee?
I know, right?
It's been a long time since we've seen a scrape knee. You know what I'm saying? Where are the regular old falling off your bike injuries? You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe they have problems with their thumbs because.
Could be that.
Could be that. I kicked my grandson off of this Xbox like on a regular. So I'm like, it's been 4 hours. I haven't even seen this boy. Okay, it's time to cut him off. You know, I'm setting up my internet to where I can just cut off parts of the house that when he on too long, I'm just gonna cut the internet off to the theater room. So like,
you gotta cut him short.
What am I gonna do now? Get dirty. You know, come inside smelling like outside.
Yeah,
you know,
It's outside steak and it has a smell.
Yeah, it
do. It's okay if we smell it. We're like, you know, absolutely. You know. Well, that's all I got for today. Y'all have any other comments? Any other suggestions? Any other last moments?
Don't let social media run your entire life. Use your brain, make your own decisions. Stop believing the motherfucker that ain't doing shit.
Right. Right. My last words is keep your mind. You understand what I'm saying? Keep your damn mind.
Because you will lose it for around on this internet and all that. Mine would be there is an algorithm to the internet and to life. And you get to choose what that is. So don't curate it in such a way that you miss out on what's real, but curate it in such a way that is building you up, that is empowering you rather than trapping you and keeping you in shackles. Because anything that doesn't allow you to have freedom is a problem.
Right on.
We try to be free people. It's all about being free. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to wrap this up with our final thought of, as usual, we are conscious, we're aware, we stay prepared, but we ain't never scared.
We got to start bringing that song in.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how to use that.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, y'all have a great week. Don't let nobody get you with that bullshit. Stay out of the bullshit. No bullshit.
And follow us on all social media platforms. I know that sound kind of powerful.
I know it sounds kind of like, wasn't these motherfuckers just down in it?
Because that's the irony, right? That's the irony. Is
right.
We're on the internet talking about the internet, but we're trying to be the positive part of the internet.
Right.
You know what
yeah, we're trying to be the positive part of the internet.
We're trying to make a change. We're trying to be a solution to the things that we talk about. Because we're going to hold ourselves accountable too. How about that?
Don't come at me in the comments.
On that note, y'all have a great week and we shall see y'all next week.
Peace out.